Okay, for L5, we're going to clear fractions. So the first thing we need to do is find a common denominator, and after you find that common denominator, you need to multiply that by all of the terms. So here's an example of our first one. Remember, since the 4 doesn't have a denominator, you want to make sure you put it over 1. So you're looking for the common denominator between 8, 1, and 4. The common denominator would be 8, so you're going to multiply the first term by 8, second term by 8, and the third term by 8. On the first term, the 8's cancel off, so you're left with 3a minus 4 times 8 is going to give you 32, equals the 8 and the 4 can reduce to a 2, and remember this is a negative 1 times 2 would be a negative 2. So we add 32 to both sides. We are left with 3a equals 30, divide by 3, and a equals 10. The next one, we're looking for a common denominator between 6, 4, and 3. Our common denominator is 12, so we're going to multiply the first one by 12, the second one by 12, third one by 12. The 12 and the 6 reduce to a 2. 2 times 5 gives us 10. The 12 and the 4 reduce to a 3, and 3 times a gives us 3a. And the 12 and the 3 reduce to a 4, and 1 times 4 gives us 4. We'll subtract 10 from each side, so we're at negative 3a equals negative 6, divide by negative 3, and a equals 2. On the next one, we're looking for the common denominator between 5a squared and a squared, and that is going to be 5a squared. So we're going to multiply the first one by 5a squared, the second one by 5a squared, and the third one by 5a squared. The first one, the 5a squareds can reduce off, and you're left with 2. Second one, the 5a squareds reduce, and you're left with 8a plus 8. And the a squareds can cancel off, so you're left with 4 times 5, which is 20. We combine like terms. 10 plus 8a equals 20. We'll subtract 10 from each side. We're left with 8a equals 10. Last step would be to divide by 8. And a equals 1 and 2/8, or 1 and 1/4, or 1.25. The next one, our common denominator between n squared and n would be n squared. So we're going to multiply all terms by n squared. The n squareds cancel off on the first one, you're left with 2n minus 8. The n squareds cancel off on the second one, you're left with 2. I can cross off one of the n's, so I'm going to cross off one of the n's here, and 4 times n would give us 4n. I'm going to add 4n to each side. So 6n minus 8 equals 2. Add 8 to each side. 6n equals 10. Divide by 6, and n equals 1 and 4/6, or 1 and 2/3, or 1.6 repeating. The next one, we have a common denominator between 2p, 6, and 6p, which is 6p. So I'm going to multiply everything by 6p. On the first one, the p's can cancel out, and 6 over 2 gives us 3. 3 times 2 gives us 6. The 6's can cancel out, 2 times p, 2p. These when the 6p's cancel out, so you subtract the 2. Add 2 to each side. 8 equals 2p. Divide by 2, and p equals 4. The next one, the common denominator between x, 2x, and 2x squared is going to be 2x squared. So we'll multiply everything by 2x squared. The first one of the x's can cancel out. So 2x times 10 gives us 20x. the 2's can cancel out and one of the x's, so we're left with 2 times x, which is 2x. The 2x squareds can cancel out and we're left with 6. So 18x equals 6. Divide by 18 and x equals 1/3. Okay, when you get to ones like this, you want to make sure that you put them in factored form first, the denominators, to see what each denominator is going to need. So this would be 2x minus 16 over the bottom. I could pull out a 2x, and then it'd be x plus 6. The next one I could pull out an x, and it would be 6 plus x. And the last one is just an x. So to see what we need, this would be our common denominator. So I'm going to multiply everything by 2x times quantity of x plus 6. So multiply this by 2x times x plus 6, which can cancel out, and we're left with 2x minus 16. If I multiply this one by 2x times x plus 6, the x plus 6's can cancel out, the x's can cancel out, and 6 times 2 gives us 12. If I multiply the next one by 2x times x plus 6, the x's can cancel out, and I actually have to distribute here. So I'm going to do my minus sign, and then in parentheses, I'm going to do 2 times 2, which is 4, and then x plus 6. So I've got to do the innermost parentheses first. So we've still got our 2x minus 16 over here, and our 12, and our minus sign, and then we've got 4x plus 24. Well, this subtraction sign needs to distribute there, so we've got 2x minus 16 equals 12, minus 4x minus 24. 2x minus 16 equals, you've got 12 minus 24, which is negative 12, minus 4x. Let's get our x's together. I'm going to add 4x's to each side. We've got 6x minus 16 equals negative 12. We'll add 16 to each side. 6x equals 4. Divide by 6, and x equals 2/3. On this one, you're looking for your common denominator. In this case, it's going to be the 8x squared minus 41x plus 5. So I'm going to multiply that by everything. So on this one, they're going to cancel out. On this one, they're going to cancel out. And on the last one, they won't cancel out. So I'm left with 2x plus 12 minus 2 equals, and then I've got my 8x squared minus 41x plus 5. I'm going to get everything onto one side. And then here I've got 2x plus 10 equals 8x squared minus 41x plus 5. I'm going to bring my 2x's over. So I've got 10 equals 8x squared minus 43x plus 5. I'm going to subtract 10. And we've got 8x squared minus 43x minus 5. From this point, you want to do the AC method. So you're going to check to see if there are two numbers that multiply to give you negative 40, but add to give you negative 43. If there aren't any, then you can just leave your answer like this.